Are we fucking live? Yes, it appears so. I have to. I'm fucking confused because my streaming software was giving me a bunch of bullshit saying traffic is unusually high right now. Try again, which I feel like that's kind of fucked up. But whatchamacallit, I do have to go ahead and check and make sure the audio isn't all fucked up because I am sitting right next to a fan right now because it is hot as tits. Holy shit. So give me just a moment. And this is like the only way to check it. I have to try again, which I feel like that's kind of fucked. Do you hear me watching myself on the fucking live stream? I'm my only viewer. Seems okay for now, though. Who knows? If you guys remember the past few shows I've done from my Jersey City apartment, the audio has been a fucking disaster. My voice has been incredibly deep. I sound like Uncle Dave if you go back and listen to them. I'm talking very deep, like I spent some time in a basement in Westchester County. What could I have been doing down there? I don't know. But, yeah, I don't, for whatever fucking reason, I must have had the fan oddly positioned, or who the fuck knows. But at least for right now, this very moment where I just checked on the live stream, it seems to be all right. And I am fucking glad I got this fan going. I have it angled away from the microphone, so if I do want to enjoy any of it, if you see me leaning back like this, that's me cooling off, and I got a little water here, and of course, I do have on the screen, just next to my head, is a massive heaving set of tits. I don't know whose tits those are. Usually I go with like a porn star or something like that, but this evening, I just searched big tits bra, because of course, I don't think YouTube or Facebook will allow me to show nipple. Let me know if they do, and we'll get fucking wild with this thing. But yeah, I just searched big tits bra, and a chesty MILF came up, and I screen capped the titties. So that's that. I'm sorry, I have texts coming in that will eventually be explained. I want to be careful about explaining them right now because there's a bit of comedy going on at the moment, and the unwitting victim of it has no idea how ridiculous she looks. But we'll address that at a later time. For now, back to these big tits. The reason we have these big tits is to start and end every episode, right? We want to begin things on the right foot, and of course, when we end, we want to sort of, close everything up, seal the bra, put the bra back on. We show the big tits because I think we're the only live stream show on YouTube and Facebook who's out here showing big tits at the start and end of every show, and it's a reminder to you guys to follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/The Savage Crew, Twitter @Mike Montone, Instagram @Gary_Moyler, MOYLER, YouTube, Mike Montone, and of course I have the website, MeatheadMedia.com. You can find a bunch. I have some blog posts up on there. I haven't blogged in a while because I'm working on all these fancy personal training certifications, and that takes up a lot of my free writing time, and of course the rest of my writing time is for my work job. But you can check that out and get inside my head a little bit, reach out on the socials, say hello, or just listen to the podcast. There is an audio version of this. Of course, it doesn't feature the big tits. You hear about the big tits on the podcast, and you're like, well, I should certainly be looking at this video stream because there are massive bosoms at the beginning and end of it. But no, the podcast, if you prefer the audio, maybe you don't like tits. Maybe you're one of our many fans in the homosexual community. I'm sorry we don't start and end every show with a big dick, but I have to give the people what they want. So if you are one of our homosexual audio-only listeners, you can find the Savage Sack Tap on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, Spreaker, pretty much everywhere you can find a fucking podcast. It's available, and the main homepage for it is the savagecrew.libsyn, LIBSYN.com. So tell your friends, if you have friends who like big tits, again, maybe they're the kind of cock lovers who only like audio, or if they just like podcasts and live streams in general, tell them to check it out. At the very least, if they watch the video, they'll get to see some big-ass titties. And I'm sorry, like I said, there are shenanigans afoot, and my phone is absolutely blowing up as a result. So I'm going to go put this over here so that it's not buzzing and distracting me. And we will get down to the business of casting pod. Couple times today I tugged my rod. There is no other way to put it. It is hot as fuck in this bitch, but it's Friday night, which means we do have to live stream ugly families, hot lesbos, shitty baseball movies, and the latest from the Big Apple coming up tonight as you watch me drown in a pool of my own sweat. It's a fresh episode of the Savage Sack Tap, and it starts right now.
You're listening to the Savage Sack Tap. It's not a podcast, it's not a half-cast, it's just a quick shot to the balls to help you finish off the week. We're cutting through the bullshit, filling your Friday with rage-fueled logic, and cracking a few jokes along the way. So grab a bag of frozen peas. There's a Savage Sack Tap coming your way.
Smooth, lascivious, salacious, outrageous.
Unfortunately, the start of the episode does herald the removal of the breasts for about the next, 45 minutes or so. But you can continue to enjoy our delightful summer layout. You are watching, listening, pleasuring yourselves to Sack Tap Live, the Savage Sack Tap. I am Mike Montone, and we are broadcasting, of course, tonight from the heights of Jersey City. I told you guys last week about, you remember we were down the shore. Me and my sister did the show. And we were talking about this ugly redhead family that I saw on the beach. Just hideous people. And from Philadelphia, which is a notoriously ugly city. No one ever talks about hot ass from Philly. It is just a wretched, disgusting city. Their sports fans are atrocious, horrible people with scars on their souls. And I say this I have a lot of friends from Philly. Some of the biggest listeners of this show are my friends from Philadelphia. So you can understand that that's how deeply I feel this conviction that Philadelphia is just a shithole filled with mongrels. Now, I love you guys, but this family that I saw on the beach it was what, if you were like, these people look like they do actually bathe in the Schuylkill River. Like, they were just fucking disgusting, and ginger to boot, which is funny. My sister-in-law's a ginger, and my sister-in-law's like a good ginger. She works out, she takes care of herself. These gingers were horrific gingers. This was like if Ronald McDonald... Who would Ronald McDonald have to fuck to create these creatures? Who's the, oh, fuck, this is gonna kill me, because she is in everything, and she's a great actress. She was in Titanic, The Unsinkable, what's her name, Nellie Bly? I don't think that's, Molly Brown. And Captain Bly was, I don't even think Nellie Bly is a real person, is it? Captain Bly was from Mutiny on the Bounty, I think. But this is the bitch who played the unsinkable Molly, some shit. I don't know, it was a woman. It was the early 1900s. They didn't really count back then, so it's tough to remember what her name was. She played Adam Sandler's mother in The Waterboy. Foosball. So imagine if Ronald McDonald had spent an evening of passion and pumped a couple kids into the foosball mom from Waterboy. That's what these kids looked like. And so, like I told you, just hideous family. Ugly redheaded Philadelphia people sitting in front of me on the on the beach, and I was remarking about how just such a horrible shrew the older sister was. She appeared to be, late teens or so. She's bitching out her brother, who appeared to be mentally challenged. And we go up there again, because I did the show. That was on Friday that I observed it, and I talked about it on the show. We go up there on Saturday for a beach day, and we're coming off. We're gonna go make some burgers back at the house. And you're getting whatever, you're waiting for people. It's always a lumbering pain in the ass process to move a bunch of people off the beach. So I'm like waiting for everyone to catch up, and I see coming up, I just see the daughters. I mean, you could see that fucking hair from far away. She looks like the main one, who was Ronald McDonald's bastard daughter. I mean, she really does look like a child that came out of Ronald McDonald and a woman built like Danny DeVito. So I see her, and I'm like, oh shit. So I shout to Jackie. I'm like, hey, Jackie, come here. Because this ugly family doesn't know they were being talked about on a podcast, so they have no idea the hullabaloo is about them. And as they pass, I'm like, yo, that's them. That's who we were talking about last night. And as they're walking up the stairs to get to the beach path, the fucking sister says to the brother, who is definitely suffers from some form of mental retardation, because he's walking around he's walking the streets of Long Beach Island wearing like swimmies on his arms and a life vest that you would wear if you were on a boat. He's a good 400 yards away from the ocean at this point. And she says to him, you're short and you ride the short bus. I don't know if that was a Philly accent. There's not a good Philly accent. But you get the point. This chick was just a fucking cunt on wheels. I feel terrible for her brother. But I did want to give you guys that update. You know who I feel great about? If I can get them on the screen here. And if you've observed this show before, Kathy Bates, thank you, Dustin. Yes, thank you, Kathy Bates. Absolutely right. Don't you fucking hate when a name is just, you know who you're talking about, but you don't, fuck me. Thank you, Dustin. Appreciate it. Glad we have two people watching, and they're currently doing a better job than the guy running the show. Fantastic. But moving on to happier news, we don't need to talk about bullied, retarded brothers for too long, because we have lesbians to get to, and you guys know how fond I am of lesbians. Where are these broads? Here we go. So, and I don't give too many shits about the Olympics or soccer, so this isn't going to be a long thing. But I always feel the responsibility when strokeable lesbians in real life are involved or something. You know, every once in a while we come across a Portia de Rossi, a beautiful woman who loves pussy, and I think that needs to be celebrated. And apparently, there was some lesbian kissing at the Olympics that went down, and this really is probably the biggest thing that I do as a straight white male to support the LGBTQIAA+ community. I consume a considerable amount of lesbian porn, and of course, when sexy, athletic lesbians are making out all over the goddamn place, I will bring it to you. So I guess what happened was these chicks are dating. I guess it's Sam or Samantha Kerr and Christy Muse. And they played each other, and I guess Christy, the American, I guess Team USA, her girlfriend's from Australia. She's getting some of that Aussie pussy. Good for her. And so they were comforting each other. She was comforting her girlfriend on the field after the game, and a very sexy, very tender moment. And then there's this other pic of them. I don't know if this is like back in the Olympic Village or wherever, but the blonde Muse, who I guess is the American, is sitting on the other chick's lap, and they are having a nice little smooch. So just fun. It's always nice to know that there are sexy, athletic chicks out there who are making out. They're hitting the showers together. They're doing all sorts of sexy stuff. And I know they're professional athletes. So they're kind of like soft butch, but they have those great athletic bodies. And I just think I think lesbians are something that we can always all celebrate. So I'm drinking water to stay hydrated this evening in this goddamn fucking oven I'm sitting in down here. But cheers to lesbians. I know they say you're not supposed to toast with water or whatever the fuck, but I don't know. Suck my dick. Well, they're lesbians, so they won't, but I'll stroke my dick while thinking about them because I love lesbos. Love it. Good stuff. Lesbian celebration. They should have a lipstick lesbian pride parade where they just have floats of hot chicks eating box cruising down the street. That would be a lot of fun. That would get people. You would win over. I don't think there are too many people who are against gay rights these days. Like, I think that's kind of at least in America. In Syria, it's still kind of a thing. But if you wanted to win over the last few people, have yourself a lipstick lesbian pride parade. That would be a lot of fun. Got another little thing for you. I think this is actually, is this up there already? Okay. I don't know if we have any baseball fans in our midst, but, oh, fuck, I clicked the wrong thing. Might be. Chrome tab, yeah, definitely share some audio. This has been driving me fucking nuts all week. Yeah, good. So, I don't know about you guys. I think the movie Field of Dreams absolutely sucked. So I did not give too much of a shit about, I guess the White Sox and the Yankees played last night out in Iowa. It's Iowa where they did this. And they played from where they had the actual field for Field of Dreams, which, you know, I get that as a baseball fan. You can kind of appreciate it. You're like, all right, this is, you know, whatever. It's a fun thing. You know, it's whatever. The way fucking grown men are acting about this is completely embarrassing. I'll play you the video first, and then I will read you the very embarrassing comment, and many like it that I saw on Barstool. But it would be appropriate to check out the video first. I hope you're ready for watching what amounts to about 4 minutes of fucking Kevin Costner just walking around a baseball field, which was apparently some sort of magical fucking moment. Ooh, he's walking through the cornfield. I wish the children of the corn were in there to fucking hack him apart. If you don't already think that this is the most asinine thing you've ever seen, he's just, for those listening, for the homosexuals listening to the audio version, Costner has emerged from the cornfield and is now about halfway through right field, making his way. I guess he was throwing out the first pitch or some shit. Now he's just stopped, he's standing, he is very sharply dressed, I will give him that, wearing a nice white button down and a light pair of what appear to be chinos, very appropriately attired for a summer's eve in America's heartland. He looks great for his age. I don't want anything to be taken away from Kevin Costner. His hair is getting a little thin, he's kept it long, but it's getting thin. A beautiful setup, by the way. I will say the scene for all of this is quite picturesque. But we are about, how far in, are we? We are minute 40 in, and I have yet to feel any kind of emotion whatsoever. You might say that that's because I'm completely dead inside, but still, I would have to think there would be some kind of stirring deep within my soul. I played baseball growing up. I was on travel teams. My father was my little league coach, games of catch. My ex-girlfriend and I used to play catch. She was a softball player. There are plenty of heartstrings to be tugged here, and yet I do not feel an ounce of emotion watching this asinine intro to last night's Yankees-White Sox game. Also, the Yankees can suck my dick. Oh, here come the players. There's Aaron Judge. What do you think the, I always wonder, because I've had female roommates before, and I've had a couple of them have told me about matching with pro athletes on Tinder, and one actually said a friend of mine said she went and got dicked down by an NFL player in his hotel room when his team was in town for a game. What do you do when you're in Iowa and that's the situation? Like, you're a millionaire with a professional athlete's physique, and you have to fuck Iowa pussy for the week. I guess, does it just become a thing where you're just like, all right, you know what, variety, spice of life, I am going to know what it's like to fuck this chick out here in Cedar Rapids or wherever the fuck I am. Sure, she might be a 4 in New York, but at this little roadside shithole or the hotel lobby bar, she's as close as they have to an 8.5. So, you know what? A couple beers and a Blue Chew, and let's get to pounding. Again, people when I get into the commentary that other males my age, 36-year-old males, assuming these are other 30-some-odd, 40-year-old males who are making these comments on the internet, if you're watching this and you're moved to tears in any way, you're a fucking asshole. It's literally just a bunch of baseball players walking onto a field in old-timey uniforms listening to classical music. And I guess that's it. And we're done. My heartstrings were not, I don't fucking know. I don't get it. I did not feel a goddamn ounce of emotion other than annoyance at the people who wrote shit like this. This cuckold writing for Barstool Sports. I love Barstool. Great content usually. But every once in a while, someone writing for them will write some complete emotional pussy shit like this. And not even pussy shit, right? Because I don't want to say it's pussy stuff, because there's nothing wrong with human emotion. It's asshole stuff. You're an asshole if you write something like this. If you love baseball and didn't get chills from that, then you have no heartbeat. Instant goosebumps. Chills everywhere. Really? Were there fucking chills watching Kevin Costner stroll across a baseball field in summer casual clothing while a little bit of light classical music played? That really should not be fucking chill-inducing. What a cool moment for baseball. They really did such a good job with this. MLB does such a bad job with everything, but they nailed this. Again, I don't know what the fuck they nailed. There wasn't anything to nail there. It was just a bunch of guys walking out of a cornfield onto a baseball field. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I preferred Citi Field. Give me Citi Field with a bunch of assholes from Queens and Long Island, and fucking Bobo, and Lazy Mary, a little Lou Monte during the 7th inning stretch, and the 7-line army, and all of that good shit. Yeah, I'll absolutely take that over this, whatever the fuck this was. You have to be a complete asshole to have shed a tear during this. There wasn't any emotion at all. Have you seen fucking Field of Dreams, by the way? Because what a stupid fucking movie that is. That's the greater point of all of this. Even if the classical music and you love baseball and you have this deep connection to the game and it reminds you of the summers of your youth and fireflies and ice pops and dad and the 4th of July and all that happy horse shit, this movie is so fucking stupid. This asshole destroys his cornfield, which corn is a cash crop in the U.S. Every fat ass in this country is just sucking down high fructose corn syrup. They're putting it in their veins. Americans love putting two things in their veins: heroin and high fructose corn syrup. So this shit dick fucking destroys what should have been a very profitable cornfield to build a baseball field because James Earl Jones told him that it would fix his relationship with his dead father. Of course, that makes perfect sense. So, Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones go to a Sox game in Boston, which this was supposed to be like the 80s. This was in 89. I don't know if James Earl Jones wanted to go anywhere near Fenway Park in 1989. You think they're a little bad today up in Boston? They must have been awful in the fucking 80s. I don't know how Oil Can Boyd survived up there. Anyway, they go to that game, and then they time travel like 15 years back in the past to Minnesota, 1970s Minnesota, and then decide that they're going to host a baseball game for a bunch of ghosts, and that they will use this high school-sized. I guess the regulation size of the field is about high school size. They will host. People will pay them to come watch games on this field, and that's how they're going to pay the mortgage on what would have otherwise been a very profitable farm. And by the way, they have a daughter to support. The kid almost chokes to death on a fucking hot dog at one point during the movie. She would have been better off because then she wouldn't starve to death because her stupid father decided to destroy part of his cash crop to build a baseball field that nobody is going to use. Okay? This movie does not end with Ray Kinsella repairing his relationship or coming to terms with his relationship with his long dead father. Okay, this movie, if this was in real life, this would end on like 2020 or Dateline, with Ray grabbing the shotgun that he uses to put down farm animals when they've outlived their use. He'd grab that and he'd walk up behind his wife and daughter in the living room while they're watching TV, and he would kill them both execution style, and then he would go into the garage and turn the car engine on and swallow a bottle full of sleeping pills and doze off until it was over. That's how, in real life, if some asshole destroyed his farm to build a useless baseball field, that's how the story would reach its natural conclusion. So, again, if you got weepy over any of this shit, I'm not calling you a pussy, but I am calling you just a complete fucking idiot with dog shit taste in cinema. Anyway. Moving on. Sorry, the movie just sucks, alright? Moving on. Moving from the cornfields, or mowed down cornfields of Iowa, to Times Square, in the heart of New York City. For a while, I was giving you guys updates on the goings-on here in Gotham, and I would like to briefly circle back because, and normally a routine crack arrest in New York City wouldn't be a huge deal, but authorities busted a 24-hour open-air bazaar in Times Square where a crack cocaine ring brazenly operated for nearly 2 years, officials said Tuesday. The 8-man group of suspects is believed to have netted more than $10,000 a week, fueled by round-the-clock shifts at 43rd Street and 8th Avenue, according to the NYPD and federal authorities, who unsealed an indictment against the crooks Tuesday. Now, you might remember, a couple months back, I was telling you guys I was walking home from work, and I watched a guy rather sort of large-bellied, burly, husky, sort of defensive lineman-looking black gentleman chase a crackhead across 8th Avenue. And I'm pretty sure it was one of these guys, because it was the corner of 43rd and 8th. Like, I walk through that corner every day on my way home from work, and it is fucking crawling with crackheads. Like, there's just a guy who, for a few weeks, decided that that corner... this is across the street from where I think the crack operation was running. I think it was running near a bodega. This guy was on the other side of 8th Ave, on the eastern side of 8th Ave, and he was just setting up like a blanket and a sleeping bag and everything and all of his shit, and commandeered the corner for like weeks before. I don't know if, you know, they cleared him out or he died or whatever, but if you don't live around New York City, if you're from elsewhere, like, there are a few places, like, you know, I know some cities in California, Texas are dealing with some nasty homeless shit. It's fucking bad. Like, this is a tourist mecca. This is where people come, they get their picture taken with Mickey Mouse. Like, this is literally like if they were selling crack. What do they call it? The Magic Kingdom down there? Or Epcot Center? If they were selling crack outside of the Hall of Presidents, that's essentially what this would be. Like, there's a Madame Tussauds, the Wax Museum, in Times Square. That's, you know, that may as well be the fucking Hall of Presidents. This is like if there were vagrants defecating in the street and doing crack in Disney World. And while they're high, they're in a fantastic mood. They're dancing around. There was one guy the other day. I'm walking through, like, right through the middle of Times Square where they do where they drop the ball on New Year's Eve, and he's got a sea bag, a military sea bag over his shoulder, and like an old 8-point cover on, and he's marching through Times Square, doing cadence, left, you left, you left, right, left, and he yells, "Wow!" What did he say? "Get your heads out of your sea bags, gentlemen! Formation in 5 minutes!" As he's walking past a bunch of cops. Like, it was fucking hilarious. So when they're cracked out and high, it's awesome. It's very entertaining. But when they come down, it goes south badly. I was walking down 42nd Street the other day on my way in, and there's just a guy laying perpendicular across the street near, like, where the fucking McDonald's is, and he was facing away from me, so his back was to me. I walk up behind him, and he's on his side, and his dick and balls were pushed back between his legs. So as I walk around him, just staring at me are his balls. And you know what happens to a pair of balls if they're, like, compressed the way they would be if they were tucked back between your legs? So they're just kind of, like, bulging out like a fucking just saying hi, and the tip of his dick, like, his dick was actually pretty big. Like, it was, like, flopping down his leg. It was a well-endowed crackhead. And then I was, a few blocks later, I was going up past the Today Show or the Good Morning America. I think it's GMA. I think it's Good Morning America up there. And there was literal human shit smeared all over the sidewalk, and there was a very disheveled-looking older white gentleman just yelling into the window, "Fuck you, you fucking faggots." So, yep. Just another morning in New York. So that happens at Disney all the time, right? Mickey yells into the window, "Ha ha! You're a bunch of fucking faggots! Ha ha!" Like, that shouldn't be happening at a place where people are, like, taking their kids to the fucking M&M store, which was robbed at knife point a few months ago. Like, can we just quit denying that New York City is a shithole? All right, the place fucking sucks. We can agree that it's, you know, there's some cool shit to do there, and you can have a lot of fun, but also, New York City is a fucking dump. I am going to, and I should have done this quite some time ago, like during the height of the fucking pandemic when it was really bad. But I'll do it. It's still going to be bad. It's still... The motherfuckers walking around with knives doing PCP, shitting all over the goddamn place. There'll be something. I'm going to do a walking tour one morning when I go into work, and then back on my way out, just a stroll through Times Square, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I will be very careful, mind you, not to take any unsolicited pictures of any hookers or strippers walking down the street. I know that has caused problems in the past. But, yeah, what a disaster. Even inside the Port Authority, it's a fucking disaster. There are homeless guys setting up camp inside the Port Authority bus terminal. It's fantastic. Well, wouldn't be a podcast in the year 2021 without us talking about a cancellation and coronavirus, so here we go. I bet you didn't think paintball would be involved, though, but there is indeed a paintballer under fire. A professional paintballer was kicked off her team Monday for making fun of a teenager infected with COVID-19 and saying he doesn't need the vaccine, but instead a fucking treadmill. Jessica Maiolo? I guess that's her name. Jessica Maiolo, 31, posted a since-deleted video on TikTok about the Miami teen who spent 10 days in the hospital with the virus and how his mother said she'd wish she'd gotten him the vaccine sooner so the serious illness could have been prevented. Ma'am, your kid does not need a COVID shot, Maiolo, standing in front of a television with the news report paused, said in the video. Your kid needs a fucking treadmill. That's what he needs. I'm going to tell you what. She's not wrong. Sorry, my throat's a little parched. It's good stuff. Let me lean back into this fan for a sec. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, right in the face. Okay, now we're back. She is not incorrect, okay? The mother of this obese child is the one who we should all be pissed off at, okay? How does a 10-year-old should not be fat? If a 10-year-old is fat, it is the parent's fault, okay? I hear this shit all the fucking time. Oh, my kid only eats dino nuggets. My kid will only eat chicken fit. My kid will only eat this. You're the fucking one who introduced him to that shit. Your kid didn't know what dino nuggets were. Your child did have a choice. Eat the food placed in front of them or starve. Hard to get fat if you're not eating your fucking, if you decide that you don't like peas, carrots, and chicken or whatever they fucking feed kids, and you refuse it, you're not going to become a fat fuck. That we know. Maiolo was excoriated on the social media platform for being a vile human, fat-shaming a teenager, and spreading vaccine misinformation. So, I will agree that she may have been less than sensitive in her approach to this situation, right? Obviously, it's probably a difficult time for the family, kids in the hospital and such. I appreciate that. But also, she's not incorrect. She's not wrong. This is not vaccine misinformation. This is good information. If you are a fat person and you are worried about coronavirus, you should be on the treadmill. You should be exercising. You should be assessing your diet. You should be replacing, soda with water and, eliminating bread and eating, lean meats and vegetables. Because, if you are fat, if you are obese, if you are overweight, the coronavirus is a much more dangerous thing for you. Okay? If we were not a nation of fat, medicine-dependent fucks, this virus would not be a huge problem for us. It's not to say that you shouldn't get, fucking vaccinated or whatever. That's up to you. Make up to your mind. But the point remains. If you're a fat fuck, coronavirus is much more dangerous. Like, if you're in your 30s and you're not taking care of yourself, you're putting yourself at the same risk that just a regular person in like their 70s or 80s is. So you can't argue with the fact that this is vaccines aside. You can't argue with the fact that you're essentially saying that your life choices have aged you, at least in terms of this virus, 50 years. And if you put that in terms of anything else, people would be like, oh yeah, you're right, that is incredibly unhealthy. So again, she's not wrong. I mean, maybe she wasn't very nice, but she's not wrong. Outraged users reported Maiolo's comments to Team USA Paintball, which is not affiliated with the Olympics, and following a brief investigation, the group announced Monday they were cutting ties with the athlete. And, you know, I try to avoid bitching about cancel culture constantly, cancel this, cancel, because that's literally all you get when fucking, you know, white dudes in their 30s sit down to podcast, is you either get a guy bitching about cancel culture, or you get some castrated cuck trying to tell you, you know, that there is no cancel culture. But this is, like, you know, this is fucking cancel culture, right? It's not, they always come back to, it's not cancel culture, it's consequences. And it's not consequences. This is a bunch of assholes bullying an organization into firing someone because she rather accurately pointed out that if this kid's parents hadn't abused him by letting him get fat, that's what it is. If you let your kid get fat, it's child abuse. It's kind of a soft child abuse because you're doing it with ice cream and TV and things that are kind of enjoyable, but it is your fault, barring some sort of, you know, obviously there are conditions, you're fucking born with a pre-birth whatever the fuck. But otherwise, it's your fucking fault if your kid's a fat fuck. She accurately pointed out that this kid would have been far better off living a healthy lifestyle. That is not vaccine misinformation, and it is not shaming, it is not mean, it is a hard, perhaps unpleasant truth to hear. She could have been nicer when she delivered it, but there was nothing racist. She didn't commit sex assault. There was nothing criminal. It wasn't homophobic, transphobic, whatever phobic we're piling onto the whole fucking thing. It was simply an uncomfortable truth. But despite that, USA Paintball has taken a firm stand. Our investigation into the troubling conduct. It's not troubling conduct, by the way. There's nothing troubling about it. Troubling is letting a 10-year-old become so obese that he falls victim to an illness that is mostly attacking old people and fat adults. That's troubling, in my opinion. The troubling conduct of Miss Maiolo has been concluded, and we have decided to remove her from the team indefinitely. The team wrote in a statement posted to their Instagram account. This is the first anyone's hearing of a Paintball USA Instagram account, I'm positive, saying the decision is final and in effect immediately. Wow, I'll tell you what, though, when USA Paintball delivers the hand of justice, they do it swiftly and with extreme retribution. Has an organization ever taken themselves more seriously than USA Paintball? Like, who gives a fucking shit? No one cared. This is the first anyone is hearing about a Team USA Paintball. They were not at the Olympics. This is not an Olympic thing. This is just, they happen to be America's paintball team. Fucking stupid. No one is looking at Team USA Paintball as leaders on and off the field. Did I read that part? Oh, did I leave that part out? They have a part of the article where they refer to themselves as leaders on and off the field. You're not. You are absolutely not. But they have this line in there, which is kind of annoying. They say, "We are an eclectic mix of culture, opinions, and ideas, and that's what makes our sport so great." They use that phrase, unironically, in a statement explaining that they just fired someone for an unacceptable opinion or idea. Brilliant. We cannot tear each other down, which is essentially what the social media users who got this woman fired did. They tore her down, both within our community and out. We are hopeful that this will serve as a valuable lesson for anyone paying attention, which, again, nobody is paying attention to USA Paintball, and they are especially not going to them for moral guidance. Like, no one is ever sitting... Like, I remember when I was growing up and, all the Dallas Cowboys were getting arrested for, like, cocaine and hookers, and Mark McGuire and Barry Bonds were doing steroids, and the kind of big line back then was, like, hey, you guys know, athletes are not role models, all right, kids? Remember, the role models are the doctors and the lawyers and the teachers, which, by the way, I open the newspaper every day and I read a new fucking report about a teacher fucking molesting a kid, or an attorney, a district attorney hiding evidence, a lawyer fucking killing his wife. Remember that up in Westchester County? There was the lawyer who fucking chopped up his wife as she was getting out of the shower up in Scarsdale, I think. What else? Doctors getting people hooked on opioids. But these guys were supposed to be the role models when we were growing up, not athletes. Because athletes were taking steroids to hit a ball farther, and they were using their fame and money to have fun with hookers and cocaine, not really hurting anyone else. But instead, apparently, it's USA Paintball we were supposed to be looking to for moral guidance. Again, they didn't have to fire this chick. Fuck this poor kid, his parents, not the kid. He doesn't know any, but he's a fucking child. He's a child who knows that cookies and soda are delicious, and that mom will absolutely get McDonald's for dinner again this night because she's too fucking lazy to cook chicken and vegetables, which, by the way, costs way less. And you get into the time it takes to get to McDonald's and pick everything up, and you got the meal fucking prepared, too. So don't give me any of this bullshit about how people can't make healthy meals. It is a load of shit. These parents abused their child, and it caught up to them out of nowhere because the Chinese released a disease from a lab that specifically attacks fat people. I mean, that's what happened. If we want to get real as fuck about this, that's how this went down. Give my old vocal cords a break here. We're getting heated. I'm sorry. These sweltering Jersey City temperatures are getting to me. What's the score of the Mets game over there? They're losing 3-0 to the Dodgers. Fantastic. We got about 10 minutes left, and I don't think I've done... Well, I did Dear Abby last week, but I've been finding some fun Dear Abbies lately, so I'll hit you with we'll hit you with a little Dear Abby before we wrap up, because sometimes you go through dry spells where Dear Abby sucks, and it's all about, my daughter doesn't want us to help pay for college, wants to take a gap year, blah, 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 some stupid fucking bullshit that nobody cares about. But, we got a good one for you tonight. Dear Abby, parents told that their son and his wife are swingers. And as you know, this is a sex-positive show, so I will be opining on this. Dear Abby, my son and his wife have been living with us for 2.5 years so they can save for a house. Recently, my best friend told me that a mutual acquaintance spotted a picture of my son and his wife on a swinger website. At first, I discounted it. Then, I started noticing they were going out every Friday and Saturday night. My daughter-in-law was usually dressed provocatively, and they wouldn't get home until around 5 or 5:30 a.m. My husband and I are both Christians. Neither of us feel comfortable about the situation. What do you recommend we do? Sincerely, Incredulous in Texas. And Abby, for her part, suggested that they tell the couple, look, you're adults, you live whatever lifestyle you would like to, but we can't accept this going on beneath our roof, blah, 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 blah. Sorry about that. Well, actually, I'm not sorry. I take back that apology. I'm not sorry for burping into the microphone at all. I don't give a fucking shit. Neither should you. I do have some problems with this, though. And I kind of understand that. I mean, to a degree, I do understand, you don't want your son and your daughter-in-law coming home smelling like cum and pussy and asshole and whatever, fried food was in the buffet at the orgy they just attended. If I had to guess, though, I would say that the husband, the old he's sitting on the recliner in the living room. He's, reading a good book. He's got the, the latest Stephen King thriller that he likes. That's the little rush that he gets because he's apparently a God-fearing Texas Christian man. So I'm assuming his curmudgeon wife has sort of a frigid pussy and hasn't given it up in a while. You have to believe that the best part of this guy's week was sitting in that recliner watching this little piece of ass daughter-in-law go out every Friday and Saturday night with his son, first of all thinking like, good for you, boy, fucking snagged a good one, and then just excusing himself to the bathroom to tug himself crazy at the sight of his daughter-in-law's juicy ass cheeks strutting by him off to the orgy where they're gonna get pumped full of every dude's rod. That had to be the absolute best. And then he goes to church on Sunday. He's good. Don't have to worry about it. And you think, because they strike me as the type who are kind of up, him and his wife are up early, having, coffee, reading you ever see those guys who are fully dressed before they get to the kitchen for breakfast? I'm picturing just a proper Texas middle of America household, sort of like the kitchen from Varsity Blues, where the father's getting pissed off that his family isn't focused on tonight. We all have to focus on tonight's game. But he's just sitting there. He's reading his Saturday morning paper, and he's waiting for his daughter-in-law to come down with smeared mascara and a t-shirt and a pair of leggings with no panties on underneath, and that just a little bit of the smell still wafting out. Because her and her husband are fucking freaks. They probably get up again in the morning, and he probably eats it a little bit, and she probably sucks the taste of the condom off of him. They had a lovely fucking night. They're having great weekends, and the father's just trying to live a little vicariously through them. Because again, his wife doesn't. Whoever wrote this letter probably isn't too hot to trot. Not exactly a pistol, as they say. But you know who really fucking pisses me off here? How about this fucking tattletale who told her about it? Nobody had to know about this. You could have gone on just sort of blindly believing and accepting that your son married a chick who dressed like a whore and they like to go out for drinks and dinner and a movie on a Friday and Saturday night, and they get home, a little bit late because, last call in the next town over ain't till 4:30. Some shithead comes along, tells him, hey, I was talking to so-and-so. He saw your son and his wife on this swingers website. Turns out they like to get fucked silly by a bunch of strangers every weekend. Who's this fucking asshole? Whose business is it for you to get fucking involved? Let the people fuck. All right? Everybody at their core wants to fuck and come. It is the thing that drives all human behavior. All we exist for as a species is to make more of us and then raise them so that they can make more and keep going and keep going and keep going. It's the entire point of evolution. These people are just following a biological impulse to shoot loads, and here this asshole comes and blows up their fucking spot, and then his cunt mother has to write this Dear Abby letter, try to find a way to put the kibosh on the whole goddamn thing. Again, I understand that you don't want to know what's going on. It's shoes on the other foot. You've been around long enough, you're going to find evidence of the fact that your parents have engaged in, some carnal act, whether you find, lube, underwear that's, built for aesthetics, not comfort, whatever the fuck, your mere existence on this planet, unless you're luckily adopted. Eventually, through the decades of your life, you will find evidence that your parents have had sex. So I understand the sort of that view from the mother saying, look, I don't want to know that my son and his wife are going out and engaging in bukakis and gangbangs and all these things. I get that. But she shouldn't be mad at the kids. They're just, again, fulfilling their biological imperative to come everywhere. She should be mad at the asshole who snitched. You never would have known. You're not mad at your parents for pretending there's a Santa Claus or an Easter Bunny or a Tooth Fairy. You enjoy the gifts. You're mad at whoever told you that there is no Santa Claus or Easter Bunny or Tooth Fairy. And if you're in the car with your kids right now, you're mad at me for telling them that, hey kids, there's no fucking Santa, Easter Bunny, or Tooth Fairy. I'm gonna get a few text messages about that one. Fuck. Point being, you're probably just as mad at me right now as I am at these sex shamers who won't just let these happy swingers fuck each other's brains out. I would like to know what website they were discovered on. That should be part of it, because let me tell you something. You get those Texas hot wives, which we've discussed on this show ad nauseum. They are among my favorite. I would love to bang the bejesus out of a goddamn southern hot wife. One of these, what are these busty blonde broads from, South Carolina, fucking Georgia, Florida, Texas, wherever they all, they hang out on South Padre Island, getting hammered on margaritas, smoking blunts, and doing coke. Yeah. Big fan. So if they were on one of those websites, which, by the way, on those websites, a high potential for cuckoldry. So I wonder if this is the case, and this is a religious family, I wonder if there is some sort of a little Jerry Falwell Jr. action going on here. Like the wife gets railed out by a stud while the hubby whacks off in the corner. And if that is the case, then I think the argument to this mother is that Jerry Falwell Jr. set the standard, and it's all good now, right? Baby Jesus wants your son and his wife to go to a swingers party and get basted and cum. That was, I believe that was in, which one of Paul's letters to the Corinthians was that in? Love is patient, love is kind, love is going to a swingers party with your wife. She's dressed as a slut and walks past your father so he has something to whack off to before she goes and gets basted in semen at a swingers convention. That's in there somewhere. Don't they read that at weddings? I saw it in what was that movie? Wedding Crashers. Wedding swingers would be fun. That would be a good one. That would be a great, where as literally you may kiss the bride, and the bride already has some guy's load in her mouth, and she passes it to her new husband, and then he spits it out on some other chick's tits. Wedding swingers. We've got one more. This will be a quick one because we are short on time. Dear Abby, my friend's mom has been sick lately. She's on oxygen and has a portable oxygen concentrator. I am also on oxygen. Would it be rude of me to ask for her mom's portable concentrator after she passes? Sincerely, Practical in California. And Abby said that it would be, the height of poor taste to do so. But I disagree, again, and I think that's a very simple solution to this. The next time your friend needs a day away from mom and her oxygen tank, you volunteer to look after her. And dollars to donuts, this wheezy bitch takes a midday nap where she just falls asleep on a chair in the living room. As soon as that happens, just take a pillow or a doily or whatever they have, a fucking, oil rag lying around, put it over her face. It'll take 10 seconds. She already needs help breathing. So she'll be out in a couple seconds. Put the mask back on her. And you just, you pretend she's fucking sleeping. You sit there knitting or whatever, these fucking watching daytime TV, whatever these people do when they're on these things. You pretend to be sleeping when your friend comes home. Your friend walks in the door. She finds mom dead. She's probably relieved she doesn't have to deal with this bullshit anymore. And then you volunteer to dispose of the portable oxygen carrier for her, right? She doesn't have to do it. She's overwhelmed. Mom just died. It's a very emotional experience, yada, yada, yada. You walk out the door with the portable oxygen thing looking like a fucking hero. Problem solved. Tank's all yours. All right, well, it is 9 o'clock Friday night. About time to put some big-ass titties back up on the screen. Where are those bad... Over here? I'm over here now. I got the big fucking tits. I'm over here now. And again, the reason that we do put these big fucking tits up on the screen is as a reminder to subscribe and share the show with your friends who also love big tits. Dustin, I see your I believe this is in response to the lipstick lesbian pride parade, the voyeur bus. Of course, how could I, you should know me by now, a longtime O&A fan. Of course I know about the voyeur bus. And I believe Jimmy and Lewis Black spent a night in jail together in the New York City Tombs, where our friend, my good friend, the Dick Shower, who I've referenced many times on this show, he spent a night in the Tombs as well, when he took his cock out in a Bank of America vestibule, and presented it to a hooker who was being tailed by a couple of plainclothes cops. So the hooker propositioned him. She said, "Can I interest you in anything tonight?" And he took his cock out and said, "Can I interest you in anything tonight?" And that is when the police swarmed in, and he spent an evening in the Tombs. I believe he converted to Islam while he was in there. But, the big tits, of course, a reminder to subscribe, to share the show with your friends, tell them the video stream. We start and end every show with a nice big fat set of titties up there. God damn, got the hiccups all of a sudden. Fuck me. Fuck. All right, we're almost done. The podcast is available everywhere podcasts can be found. Just look for the Savage Sack Tap. If you search Savage Sack Tap on Google, if you can't find it anywhere else, just Google the Savage Sack Tap, and it should come up quite promptly. And of course, social media: Twitter at Mike Montone, Instagram at Gary_Moyler, Moyler. Facebook.com/The Savage Crew. You catch the live stream there. YouTube, Mike Montone. The live stream is there as well at MeatheadMedia.com. I do a little blogging. And of course, hey, if you enjoy it, if you got questions, complaints, etc., all that shit, give me a fucking shout. I respond to DMs. It does often take me like a couple days because I don't check them every fucking day, but I do tend to respond, and I love hearing from you guys. So that's that. I will catch you next week, hopefully. I mean, you or I could be killed in between. We could all be dead by then. I hope not. I'm sure you hope not. Well, maybe you do hope I'm dead by then. I don't know. But, I don't know, maybe we'll get someone else to do the show if I'm killed. We'll see. Anyway, have a fantastic weekend, and I will catch you on the flippity-floppity as I disappear behind these big-ass titties.